Ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your set. I am Hitman Cause. Over to the next installment of Hitman's Contracts. Now, unfortunately, the humble man is not here, so I will be going it alone. But don't go, don't get too discouraged, because I still got y'all covered for Elimination Chamber. Now, we got a pretty interesting card going into the pay per view. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that both people that both brands deliver. But without wasting too much time, let's get into the card. First, first off, we have the the Raw Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Um, where where it is Drew McIntyre defending said title against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. Now, first off, I thought it was quite interesting that that uh before Kofi Kingston got into the match, that that slot was actually filled by the Miz, but the Miz, because he's already Mr. Money in the Bank, obviously saw no need in being in the chamber, so he relinquished his spot. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't have done that. Just for the simple fact that you know I'd rather have two chances back to back to back instead of just one. Because who's to say that in the chamber that he wouldn't win? Because I mean, you know, why not? But then again, if he did win, it would make having the Money in the Bank briefcase a little useless at this point, unless later on in the night he would cash in and take the Universal title as well. But, how nice and interesting that would be. But anyways, after he relinquished his spot, he hit up Adam Pearce to try and get John Morrison into the chamber. That's when the New Day suggested Kofi gets into the chamber. So then Adam Pearce set up a match later on that night, Kofi versus Miz. And if Kofi won, he'd get into the chamber. If Miz won, then John Morrison get in the chamber. Long story short, Miz lost, Kofi was in. Now, personally, the the whole field itself is pretty nice, but I oppose to the idea of having ev- of having everyone in the match a former WWE champion. Cause I'd like to see some new blood. See someone who hasn't held the WWE title hold it, but and like see what they can do with it going into WrestleMania. You know, yeah. Like seriously, well, one of these days, Vince is gonna have to take a gamble with one of these stars that hasn't been WWE champion, cause cause you never know, it might actually work out in his favor. But personally, I'm all for McIntyre retaining. What Honestly, what I want is for AJ Styles to win with an assist from Almost. Now, don't get me wrong. Uh, Technically speaking, Almost can't interfere because of the chamber, but there is a certain way that he can. And if you guys remember the World Heavyweight title on the Elimination Chamber from 2010, no, yeah, it's from 2010, and you remember how the ending was, where Shawn Michaels appeared from from under the grate. He came from under the ring, popped up into the chamber, super kicked Taker, allowed Jericho to win. So basically, that's what I'm thinking. Even though Almost is a lot bigger and more likely to be a lot more crap for him to be under the chamber, but have him be like that. Be ch- the go under the chamber. Then when the time is right, or if Styles is in danger of losing, freaking go under the grate, move it to the side, come out, and save Styles. You know, and then like just stick around in the match long enough that you'll keep further putting the odds in AJ's favor until he is the last man standing. And I can't even front. I've been a fan of Almost since Raw Underground. So that's why I especially want his interference in the match. You know. Hopefully they'll come up with something for it. Now, moving on to the next match, we have the Hurt Business's Bobby Lashley defending his United States title in a triple threat match versus Keith Lee and Riddle. Now, before I get into the match itself, apparently MVP will still be ringside. First off, this is coming from me just because I'm a fan of the Hurt Business. Period. If that injury is legitimate, then seriously MVP get well soon. Because if y'all hadn't seen Raw, they were the Hurt Business minus Lashley was in a 6-man tag match against Riddle and Lucha House Party, and there was a botch in which MVP tweaked his knee. But like the soldier that he is, he still toughed it out and went through the match. They didn't win the match, but just the fact that MVP still chose to tough it out and go through the match is a credit to his heart. But and then another thing. There's also a bit of concern if of whether or not Keith Lee's still in the match, because he hasn't been on TV recently. He wasn't on the go home show for Raw to do anything regarding the match or anything. So some people are thinking that it's going to be a single match. Personally, I'm hoping that is not the case. Unfortunately, all signs are pointing towards Vince not knowing what to do with Keith Lee. But then again, that was already part of me think that was established a little once he gave him that crappy ass rock music, and and took him out of his normal wrestling attire. But even still, in hindsight, it really doesn't matter because I still want Lashley to retain. But if he does lose the title, I hope that it leads to him getting a WWE title push. But that, but that's another prediction for another time. So for here, I'm hoping Lashley retains, keeps that U.S. title intact to allow business to continue booming. You know, with all this commotion about Elimination Chamber and whatnot, I can't help but notice that uh, the United States title is being defended, like I mentioned earlier, but the Intercontinental title isn't, and that really puzzles me because last I checked, the purpose of this IC title run for Big E was to further solidify him as a serious singles competitor. And don't get me wrong, his open challenges on SmackDown helped do that, but also a high quality pay-per-view match would also help. So I really can't make any sense of 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 this, you know, like, and especially since I want his run to be great. I want his run to be serious, you know. I want him to be putting on spectacular matches on damn near every pay-per-view. And since Lashley is defending his title, then there should be no reason why Big E isn't defending his. Then previously, Lacey Evans was set to get a shot at the Raw Women's title. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was set to get a shot at the Raw Women's title before that whole freaking thing came out of left field where she announced that she was pregnant. And she really is pregnant, by the way. You know, congrats to her. But Ric Flair's not the father. So y'all freaking. So anyone still believing in kayfabe, like, get real. Ain't no way a 70 plus year old man is gonna be able to freaking father a child right now, or make a child right now. I mean, unless they have some very, very active cells. but I digress. Then also, even before the pregnancy announcement, what also didn't make sense to me was that if the Raw Women's title was on the line, why not have the SmackDown Women's title on the line as well? You know, because I mean, both brands deserve to be represented equally, and it makes no sense for just the United States title and the Raw Women's title to be up for grabs, and not the IC title and the SmackDown Women's title. It's just, to me, it's just another case of Vince trying to handicap SmackDown just because he knows SmackDown is drawing in the better views. Just like how they keep pulling the same crap that they pull every year with Raw beating SmackDown in Survivor Series, just because they know SmackDown is the A show. But that kind of pettiness just only drives me to further support SmackDown more more than I already do, as if that was actually possible. Because if you guys have paid attention to the channel, you guys know that I am true blue to SmackDown. Always have been, always will be, and nothing's ever gonna change. Next, we have interesting ramifications for the next chamber, where we have where it's SmackDown's Elimination Chamber. However, the Universal Champion is not in the match. Instead, how it's gonna go, how it's going is that the the winner of that Elimination Chamber will face the Universal Champion later on that night. Essentially, once they're all drained and depleted from the chamber, they're just gonna be easy pickings for Roman. But in any case, it will be main event Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, my boy King Corbin, Sami Zayn, the Swiss Cyborg Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan. And I'll admit, before the qualifying matches happened, part of me thought that they were gonna hold out on the last slot and have it be a surprise. To which I thought that Jimmy Uso was gonna make his big return and and be a surprise to be in the chamber match, catching both catching both Jay and Roman off guard, and then maybe he was going to win. But nah. Now, first off, I think the ramifications is funny. I mean, sure, it's just Roman, choosing to once again throw his weight around just because he's the tribal chief and he feels he's entitled to do so. And that's his prerogative. But it would have been nice to see him actually fight in the chamber. But it just has me thinking that he obviously sees the six of them as a threat, and if not, then he's just being lazy. But in any case, even though if he won, it wouldn't make sense considering they're both heel. But I'm hoping that King Corbin wins, and biggest reason why I'm pulling for King Corbin, and this one isn't biased. This is based solely on the fact that on his recent time on SmackDown, sure, he's been in various feuds, but none of them have had universal title ramifications. Like how much longer does he have to be bullshitting? With all these other feuds with freaking Dominic Mysterio or Murphy. Speaking of Murphy, where the hell is that? Has that guy been? Freaking ever since Corbin beat his ass, he hasn't been seen. Now, And funny enough, I hate to randomly switch gears, but funny thing that I bring that up is because is that if you guys have noticed, Corbin's henchmen, the Knights of the Lone Wolf, uh, are gone. It's funny because they really didn't last long at all. They were Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, the former Forgotten Sons. The reason why is because Steve Cutler got released, but with good reason. Um, if you guys didn't know, Steve Cutler went to a party on, I think, New Year's Eve, and during that party, he caught COVID, and and he didn't tell WWE that he caught it. So so there he was, you know, among everybody in WWE while having COVID, just just not giving a fuck. And hell, part of me, uh, part of me is inclined to believe that he was the reason behind dudes like Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, and Mia Yim all catching COVID. And then hell, but his wife, I mean not his wife, his girlfriend, who I didn't even know who he was dating at the time, Deanna Perrazzo, came to his defense saying that he didn't have it because she was at the party with him and whatnot, and they were keeping shit under control. Hey, I don't know who to believe. Uh, but uh, as of now, that's the past. That's showbiz. You know, he, if he really did do it, that was very very stupid and ignorant on his part. I mean, I understand, getting tired of social distancing and whatnot. I don't blame him at all. So, but even still, if you got it, don't try and freaking still show up to work while you got it. Freaking running the risk, the high risk, mind you, of giving it to other people. Like, be courteous. Be courteous, bro. Yeah. Well, and then back. Well, then sorry about the that little tangent. But anyways, back to the chamber. Honestly, if Corbin doesn't win, I say either have Cesaro. I say Cesaro because he's been picking up momentum. Uh, well, to be fair, Corbin has too, but what more so Cesaro's been uh, gaining momentum. Uh, be just be be being in these absolute great matches with these other wrestlers as of late. Like picking, and it wasn't just him being in the match. He was winning these matches. First off, he had a technical masterpiece of a showing against Daniel Bryan. If you guys have not seen the match, y'all need to hop on the website watchwrestling.in. check out that match. You will not be sorry. You will be in for a treat. And then, you know, so honestly, if Corbin doesn't win, Cesaro's a serious dark horse. But then at the same time, I can also say that freaking both Daniel Bryan and also Jey Uso to an extent are dark horses. Daniel Bryan just because this is pretty much his last run as a full-time worker before he switches to part-time because he to focus more on his family. You know, so because man's got to have his priorities intact to which he does, and can't even hold him for that. So maybe they might. But then again, if this is his last run, who's to say that he would even win he would even win the title? Even if he was to win the chamber. Then don't get me wrong, I'm not counting out Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, but I don't really see much of a point in either side winning, because Kevin Owens, he's already faced Roman multiple times and he's lost every time, despite showing the heart of a warrior of refusing to stay down. Then Sami Zayn, there's absolutely no point in him. I mean, that makes no sense for him to win storyline wise, because for one thing, he's still wearing that shirt saying "I'm still the Intercontinental Champion." So, who's to say that he would win the chamber match, and then even out of something win the WWE title? I mean, win the Universal title. What's he gonna do? Wear a shirt saying I'm the Universal Champion, or is he gonna still wear I'm still the Intercontinental Champion shirt? Alright. And if he doesn't do that, then good. And he continues his whole WWE conspiracy against him thing, I'm with that. But I see no logical point in him winning. And then if Jey Uso were to win, I actually had a thought of if after he wins, Roman comes out, and then I see one of two things happening. Either one, he continues to be Roman's lapdog and chooses to lay down for Roman on some JBL Shawn Michaels shit. Actually, no, Shawn didn't lay that down. But you get what I mean. And then if that doesn't happen, I was thinking that Jey rebels against Roman and chooses to fight Roman and try and take the title. And then while trying to take the title, in the heat of the match, he's either on the verge of losing or winning. And that's when, bam, Jimmy Uso comes down, freaking, and does something to help Jey win. And the next thing you know, main event Uso is Universal Champ Uso. And as he's hoisting the title high, finally being Universal Champ, finally defeating Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman is in utter shock, in disbelief. And meanwhile, the WWE Universe is happy to see Jey Uso finally stand up to Roman, be his own man, and and finally take the title from him. And honestly, it would definitely be a hell of a shock. And then it would make for it would make for a doubly interesting SmackDown, because obviously Roman's pissed because they both pulled that. But just to see Jimmy Uso with that title, Jey Uso with the title, it would definitely be amazing. And be interesting to see if, he could do his thing and have an interesting, man, maybe even like the title run. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna do it for this episode. I definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and chill with the Hitman. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that like button. Comment if you feel like it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and share this to everyone you know. Also, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. So, until next time, by way of Struggle Vision Productions, I am Hitman Cos, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.